I was asked if I would model a stapler, and I've come up with sort of a cross between something that's vintage and something that's retro, and this is it. So I'll provide this reference image for you. Just see the link in the description, and we're going to use it just as a guide. We're going to model a little bit against it, but mostly just sort of use it and make sure we've got all the parts and it's looking kind of similar to this. So I brought the reference image in to Blender. I've moved it back a little bit, and I've sort of set the cursor down here. I think I scaled this up by 2 or by 3. So I've got my 3D cursor right down there. All right, so here we go. We're going to model the base part first. And the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to actually use a cube, and I'm going to press Control 3, and I'm going to apply that. So I've got this sort of rounded cube here. I'm going to go into wireframe and 1, and I'm going to get rid of the bottom. We're just going to keep about a quarter of this. I'm going to get rid of those, and I'm going to look from the top, and I'm going to get rid of these. So I've got just that piece there, and I'm going to take this and I'm going to slide it down, and it's roughly going to match the diagram. All right, so we've got that. Okay, now I'm going to Shift Alt and click here, and I'm going to extrude down to about the halfway point. We're going to leave it there. We're not going to do any more with that yet. I'm going to go back into solid view, and now I'm going to go into edge selection and Shift Alt and click here, and we're going to make these grooves here. All right, and so we've got this part here, and then it's going to come out, and then it's going to come out, and then we're going to mirror it over. So for this part, just make an extrusion, E, pull it out about the same width as this, or maybe a little bit bigger. Just use your imagination. 3 for face selection, Shift Alt and click here, and now we're going to E and Alt S to push that out. E, Alt S, push, and make it come out something like that. Now I'm going to come under, and I'm going to get rid of some faces. So that one and the one at the end here. That face. And then we want to get rid of these faces on the side. So just now Shift Alt and click those and get rid of that. So we have that piece. Back into 2, edge selection, Shift Alt and click here. Now we're going to make this middle piece here. We're going to extrude out a little bit further, maybe twice the distance. Now this whole thing is going to be mirrored over, so we can adjust the width of this in a bit. So something like that. 3 for face selection, Shift Alt and click, and E and Alt S again. Like that. Get rid of this face. Come to the back. Get rid of that face. And now we can get rid of the faces on the side. All right, cool. So let's Shift Alt and click this edge right there and bring the 3D cursor there. Shift S, cursor to selected, and set the origin to the 3D cursor and mirror this in the Y. Turn on clipping, and we have this structure that we want. Okay, I'm going to apply the mirror and go in and merge by distance if necessary, and I think I'll get rid of this edge. I'm not going to need that edge. And now I'm going to look from the front again. So I'm looking from the front at my reference image. I'm going to go into edit mode, and I'm going to rotate Z 90, and then just slide this over and say, hey, it's roughly where I want it to be. So I'm going to Control Z that a couple times. If I wanted to, I could probably scale this down a little bit, just if I wanted to be a little bit more on the diagram. So I'm just going to do that. And this is what I have. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this, mirror it back really. So I'm going to select that edge, Shift S, cursor to selected, and set the origin to 3D cursor, and I'm going to mirror it. I'm going to turn on clipping, bring that in, I'll go ahead and I'll apply the mirror, and then we'll stretch this. So I've applied the mirror. I'm going to come back in, box select here, and I'm going to pull it to the end here. I'm going to also get rid of this edge here, right in the middle, if I can get that. Dissolve edge. All right, now I'm going to give it this sort of tapered look, and the way I'm going to do that, I think, is I'm going to just select sort of a point there, Shift S, cursor to selected, bring it there, and I'm going to set this on 3D, and I'm going to scale in the Z and just sort of pull it down like that. And now I have this slope thing that looks like that. All right, let's come in. Get rid of that. And let's do some beveling. So let's bevel all these edges here. Control B, pull, and I'll put 3. I'm also going to come in here with an edge, and here, and do the same over here. Okay, so we've got this piece here, and it's looking the way we want it. So now we're going to create that. So my 3D cursor's over there, but that's okay. Let's bring in a circle. It's not going to be low poly or anything. I'm going to use 24 vertices, rotate X90, and drag it over here. Now this one is angled a little bit, so it won't be exact, but just get it similar in size, something like this. Okay, I'm just going to focus just on that and go in, and I'm going to box select all the bottom stuff here, X vertices, and take these 2 vertices and extrude them down, and then we'll come back out and we'll have a look at this. I may pull them up just a little bit, not too much though. I'm going to F to make a face and select it all, F to make a face, and so I have this. Control 3 will look from there. I'm going to pull it out to about here. I have to figure out the exact position that I want it soon. So I'm going to take these 2 vertices here, and I'm going to extrude them towards the middle and take the whole thing and just pull it up so we can see what's going on here. All right, so as you can see, we'll have to rotate this a bit, but that's fine. And then I'm going to select these 2. Let me just look. You can see that it's past this part here, and it's sort of sitting over past those. So really what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this whole thing, I'm going to move it out to about there, and we'll just leave it there for now. Okay, so I'm going to bring the 3D cursor to there, and I'm going to mirror this like that. I'll turn on clipping, and I'll drag those into the middle so that they collide like that. Okay, let's take that. Let's go ahead and apply that mirror, and I won't even need that edge, so I'm going to dissolve that. I'm going to use solidify, and I'm going to pull towards the left. That will make it come in, and I'm going to give it even thickness, and then I'm going to try to, you know, kind of match the thickness looking at the diagram. It doesn't really matter that much, but it will matter because we'll have stuff going through the middle of it. So something like that is probably okay. So with that done, I'm going to apply that, and then we'll come back in edge selection, Shift Alt and click that edge, Shift Alt and click that edge, and Control B and bevel, and I'm going to put 5 like that. So it rounds it. Then I'm going to take the whole thing and add a bevel modifier, and I'll go up to 2, and 0.02 will probably be okay, and shade smooth. And don't worry about any shading issues. Now I could have used 32 if you wanted it even smoother, but that's probably okay. So now I'll take this, and I will try to match the diagram, or really try to match my model more. And so it's going to sort of embed a little bit like that, and we can play with this a little bit later on. You can get the exact curve that you feel you need. All right. So my 3D cursor is, let's see, let's take this whole thing and bring the 3D cursor right there. Actually, let's bring the 3D cursor right roughly to there. I'll make a bolt of some sort, and we'll figure out where to put it a bit later on. I'll use 16 vertices. Have to make a face, rotate X90, and just, you know, have a look and roughly get the size that we need. I'm going to take that out, E to extrude, pull in, get rid of that back face, and then in face selection, grab that and Control B, and have a few segments in there to make it nice and round. Do something like that. Shade smooth, and bring it in, and that could go there. So my 3D cursor now here, I'll select the whole thing, and we'll go ahead and mirror that. I'll set the origin to the 3D cursor and mirror over here. All right, let's take everything and just Alt and recalculate outside just to make sure. All right, so yeah, some of these things will have to move. Now, to do the top part of the handle or whatever, and this part here that holds the staples, this is already on an angle, so it's a little difficult to get it exact. So we're just going to play and see what happens. I'm going to bring in a path, and I'll pull it up to about here, and I'm going to take this point, and I'm going to press E and just sort of slope down. I don't want too much of a curve, and I'll show you why in a moment. Let's just use that and try it and see how it works. Okay, so with that done, come over to the curves, change the resolution to about 4 so you don't have too many points when we convert this to a mesh. Come in, you see we've got all those points there. Now here's what we're going to do. We're going to E, and we're going to come down like this. We'll adjust the position in a bit. I'm just looking at the front here and thinking about that size in the back, but wait, we're going to go SZ0. And the reason I didn't want to curve it too much was so that we could have this little bit of a back here. Now, I could actually curve it more than that, so I'm going to come back until I have my curve, and I'm going to grab this and I'm going to pull it down a little bit more. And let's see, I might do that. All right, I'm still on 4, so I'm going to try to convert to mesh again, and I'm going to extrude down. Scale Z0. See, it's a lot smaller there now, and to get that front part, but I think that's possibly okay. But any more than that, and we could be in trouble. Let's try it. I'm going to bring it out to about the edge there, and I'm going to extrude over like this. I didn't quite extrude over. So let's see. I guess I'm going to grab all these faces here. I'll look down from the top, and we'll see, you know, whether or not the shape is pleasing. I think I'll consider coming underneath and pulling it down a little bit more. The problem's going to be this part's going to might look a little funny. I hope not. Well, yeah, all right. I could probably live with it. I probably would have preferred to just do a better curve, but anyways, that's the general idea. And actually, we're going to be getting rid of those. And now I'm going to take the front, and I'll bevel it separately from the back. I'm going to put a nice curve on the front, and I'll use 5. Let's do that. And then I'll come to the back, and I'll curve that. It doesn't have to be quite as extreme, but, you know, something like that. And then I'm going to Shift Alt and click all the way around here until I get the whole thing. And then I'm going to zoom in and Control B. I'm going to pull, and I want a nice big bevel, something like that. And I may actually consider if I can pull this up a little bit. All right, so I've got that. Yeah, it's maybe a little bit of an extreme curve, but you know, you can experiment. You know, when I'm doing this on video, sometimes I don't get exactly what I want, and because I'm moving kind of quick. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to slash to focus on just that, and I think I'll use solidify, and I'm going to pull it. I want it to go in, give it some thickness. Let's try equal thickness, and I could probably live with that, so let's go ahead and apply that. And I've got that selected, and it's going to come down here. We're going to bevel this, and I'll probably just use 3. So roll back, there's 2, 3. I'll just get the nicest bevel I can. That'll help with smoothing as well. And yeah, so we've got that there. Don't worry about it. If there's a little streak, we'll fix that up in a bit. Slash key. Yeah, okay. Now you can make this straight if you prefer, but I'll go with something like that. All right. So the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to take this piece. We're going to make that right there. So I'm going to just Shift D to duplicate it, pull it out, P to break it out. And I'm going to take this edge and pull it up just a little bit. So it's like that. Take this edge and look from the front. Actually, I'll take the whole thing and I'm just going to G, drag it to about there. I'm going to take that, look from the front, E to extrude, and pull it back so it's kind of similar to the length that I see in the diagram. Okay, I'm going to take, let's say, this edge here and Control B to bevel. And I'm going to put in 5. Take this edge and this edge. So I've got 5 as my last one, so it'll be the same. So Shift Control B now, pull and round it off nicely so we think it looks nice. Okay, just like that. Take the whole thing, bring it out a bit, and E and Alt S. We'll do it that way. I'm going to pull in and delete those faces there. In 2, edge selection, Shift Alt and click all the way around. Make sure you get the whole thing. Just the top there. Control B, pull, and I could probably get away with just 3. Shade smooth. And I missed some, as you can see, so I didn't follow my own advice. Okay, do that again. Control B. And I have that piece there. Might want it to come down a little further, so Control 3 to look from the, I don't know, front of the thing or the side, whatever. Just pull it down a little bit. All right, let's make the, and it's not really a grip, but it's a thing that you push on. So the way I'm going to do that is I'll select right here, and I'm going to bring in another plane. Pull that into place and get the size that you like. So I'll make it, it's a nice big thing here, like that. Okay. Okay, Shift Control B and pull. And get it nice and round. I'm going to extrude down and in a little bit. And then I'm going to take this piece here and we'll add a Boolean. I'll use fast and do that. I'm going to delete that and come in, and I think I may want it to go down a little further. So I'm going to select it and pull it down. I just don't want it to go to the surface of that. Doesn't really matter. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to delete that. I'm not going to need that. I'm going to grab these edges and we're going to bevel them. Control B and pull. Actually, hang on. Let me take this and merge by distance. And let's also recalculate outside just in case. And let's try that bevel again. Control B, pull, and I want to have probably 5 edges in there. Take that, shade smooth. I'll deal with shading issues in a bit. Now I'm going to, with those selected still, I'm going to bring my 3D cursor there and I'll bring in another plane. I'll scale it in like that. Scale it in the X like that. Pull it down. and then I'm going to bring in a bunch of edge loops like that. Control B and pull and roll back so I just have the two. Get some nice big spaces there. E and Alt S, and I'll push that up like that. And then I'm going to add a bevel. And that looks nice like that, but I think I'm going to go for the 3. And I'll shade smooth, come in, recalculate outside, and I probably will put another edge loop on each side like this, just split it out. Get rid of some faces if you want to, but I'm not going to worry about that. Alright, as far as shading goes, just weighted normal, and normal's auto smooth, but we're going to be joining stuff anyhow, so alright, I'll do something in Substance Painter probably on there. So we have that so far. And then we're going to do this piece right here. And so the way I'm going to do that is I'm just going to bring in a cube, scale it so it fits inside and pull it down. Right up near the front, but not poking through. I'm going to grab the back. Now we're going to have some trouble when we get near the back, as you can see, like this. And so I'm going to bring it close, and then I'm going to take this and I'm going to see if I can just bring it down and sort of seem like it's in there like that. Okay, so we got that. And yeah, it should be okay for what we want to do. So let's come in and take that face there and get rid of that face. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to E and Alt S, and I'm going to give it some thickness just like this, just to have that done. And I'll take these edges, and we will, just in case you do see them, and we'll bevel them like this, and I'll put in 5. And I'll probably have to bevel the bottom as well, and I could probably just use 3 for that. We'll shade smooth, worry about shading later. Let's have a look at that. Now, it doesn't stick down as much as I would have liked. So again, it's the curvature of this thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take all these pieces and I'm going to start pulling them up. And then I'm going to take this piece, I'm going to pull it down so it's like this. And then I'll come in and I will box select here and we'll pull it back up just so that it doesn't poke through. Okay, so we got that. I just want to look at scaling this. I just want to see if, yeah, you know what, I think I can get away with that. So I'm just going to adjust this a little bit so that I feel like I maybe like it a little bit more. Alright, something like that. And I guess I lost my other guy in there, so we'll just drag that up. Okay, how's that? I think actually I need this just to sink in a little bit more. Not too high and not too projecting out. Something like that. And now that I've shortened that, I'm going to Control 3 and come back in here and in wireframe box select this again, and now I'm going to bring it up to somewhere around there. Alright, little adjustments, right? Okay, we're going to do this part here. I'm not sure how realistic that is, but we're going to use it anyhow. Shift D, pull this out, P to break it out, and just bring it up a little bit, and take these edges, and let's look from here, and we have to get out past, so scale these in the Y. We're going to get out past there. We'll deal with that in a bit. Extrude them back a little ways. Something like that. Let's... okay, with that, let's just E and actually I want to be able to see. E and Alt S, come in, push it in, get rid of those faces, take the whole thing, and let's go ahead and scale in the Y just like that, and just pull it under. So it's there. Okay, now we're going to Shift Alt and click here, Shift Alt and click there, and bevel these. I'll use 5. And I'm going to focus on that thing, and I think I could probably get rid of these top faces. And did I get rid of everything? Yeah, I did. Okay, because they're joined. So what I'll do here is we're going to take these edges here, and I'm going to bevel them a little bit. Control B, we'll do that. And we'll also take the outer edge and bevel. Let's just do the whole thing. Do I have everything? Not yet. Now I do. Control B, something like that. Okay, back to there. Okay, and then just position it as you like it. Okay, something like that, and just hanging down. In fact, a little bit lower down. Okay, so far so good. Now the next thing is we need something to see the staples. I had done a circle. You can do any shape you really want. Maybe I'll bring the 3D cursor right about there. Select that edge and bring in maybe a plane. I think I'll do a rounded rectangle instead of a circle. Rotate X 90 and scale it in Z. I think I will make it and then position it. So it doesn't have to be too big or anything. So I'll do something like that, and then I'm going to Shift Control B and bevel these. I want 5, like that. Pull it out, and it's going to go right through. So let's just give it some thickness all the way through. And I think we'll have to flip the polys, and then look at this and say, in maybe wireframe, where do I want this? The only thing is, we're going to need that and that slash. Yeah, because this isn't very tall, I want it to go right through. So let me bring back that stuff and see. That'll be just right under there, eh? And is there any way, do I have any clearance to go a little bit higher on this? I may. So I'm going to go into wireframe and see if I can box select this. I mean, I can bring it up and then bring it down. I think I do actually have a little bit of clearance. I think I can go up to about there. Yeah. So if in that case, can I go up to about there? Well, we can give it a try. I just want part of it covered and part of it not. So let's just select both of those. And let's give this a try here. And we'll deal with shading in a bit. Okay, so yeah, so we're going to take this and we're going to do Boolean. I'll put it on fast and select that and apply and delete that. And then we'll come in and we will select all these edges. Won't freak out yet about the shading. We'll grab all these edges here. And there, we don't want that one. We do want everything else as far as I can tell. Okay, zoom in a little bit. Control B, pull. No, we have a problem, so select it all. Alt N, recalculate outside. Alright, so I could tell that it was going weird. Some of my polys were flipped, and that will always ruin your day. Okay, selection is going well. Ah, that one still not. Okay, repeat. Control B. Pull. Bunch of segments. Looks good. And then, although it might be a little bit early to do this, we'll add the weighted normals and normals auto smooth. Let's have a look at that. Alright, that's where our hole ends up being. We can live with that. Okay, next thing. Let's select right here or so. Shift S, cursor to selected. We're going to bring in a cylinder. I'm going to leave the defaults of 32, scale it down. I want to, when you remember that old kind of push button that you would use to help release the top and the bottom. So, yeah, that's what that is. I'm going to bring this up, and I'm going to rotate this just by eye until it's sort of like that. The only thing is I want to look at these as well, and I'm going to take this and position it where I want it. So I'm going to move it back here. So it's going to overlap that line right in the middle, and hopefully that's going to be just fine. All right, I'm going to take this, and we're going to do a Boolean on this. I'll do fast. I'm going to select that and apply it. I'm going to take this piece here and just hide it. We'll use that. Come in here and in edge selection, Shift Alt and click there, but deselect these and bevel like that. Now I am having some problems here, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and this, and I'm going to merge it last. They're just too close to do a good bevel, and I'm going to take this one and this one, I'm going to merge it last, and we're going to redo that bevel. Okay, Control B, it's beveling better, like that. Shading we'll deal with in a minute. Bring back my body, bring back that thing, select the top, let's go into normal and pull it down like something like that, and then Control B, and then just a bunch of segments like that, and shade smooth. And we can actually come in here and get rid of this bottom face, and yeah, we'll have what we need. Okay, this doesn't have the normal auto smooth on yet, so we'll deal with that. Okay, we're almost done. The only other thing we're going to do before we tilt this and see what it's like is we're going to come in here, and maybe I'll select there, Shift S, cursor is selected, and I'm going to bring in a plane. I'm going to make the anvil with the striking, what do you call that thing? The striking thing, I don't know what you call that thing. Just want to see how wide that is. See, I've got it going into the two things there. These two things there. All right, well, anyways, let's just do something here. What am I going to do here? I'm going to extrude up like that. And I'm going to delineate an area top and bottom, and then I'm going to roll my mouse up and get a few of these kind of thingamajigs, and Control B and pull, and I want that, and I want 3. And the third one I'm going to, let's see, oh gosh, I'm never going to be able to tell which one it is. I'm lost. So it's 2 and 3, so it's, I think it's like this. So I'm going to skip every 2. Oh my God. As long as I do something consistent, it should be just fine, because they're so equally spaced. I think I got them though. Let's go back into global. I want to scale, but not in the Z. Scale Shift Z. I just want to pull those in and notch them in like that. All right, well, that's probably fine. Let's see what this is going to look like with a bevel on it of 3 and 0.02 or 1. Probably not going to get any cleaner than that. So, and that's going to be actually fine for what I want to do. I just want that. And then what I'll do is, I have half a mind of getting rid of all that and coming back in and selecting an F to make a face. And I think that is what I'm going to do, and I just did it. So now I'm going to select here with my 3D cursor, and I'm going to, come on, enough of this. Let's actually focus on that. Okay, I'm going to bring in another plane. We're just going to make one indent in this thing, one striking thing. I know, I'm sure it's not called that, but yeah, the name, and I'll make it a little bit, I don't know, accentuated. I'm going to round it though. Shift Control B, and I'll use 5. You know, I might want it a bit wider. Normally I wouldn't scale it with my curve, but that wasn't very much. Okay, and I just want to punch in, but flip the polys, pull it in. I don't want it to go all the way through. I think I do want a circle there too, actually. Now that I think about it, yeah, I can leave that. Boolean, drag it to the top, and with the eyedropper, select there. Apply. I don't need that anymore. I just want an indentation like that. And I know it doesn't look like the real staple thing, but, you know, we're just doing something here. And I'm going to bring in a cylinder, and I don't care if it's 32. I'm not worried about polys. And I think I'm going to put it down there. And let's try another Boolean. I'll get rid of that. And I'll probably do some arrows in Substance Painter. Now, depending on how far down I've gone, I could probably get rid of those faces, right? Nothing showing through. Yeah, all right. Okay. And did I? Yeah, it's beveled, so okay. And now we'll take this and we'll look from the front, and I'll angle it. Push it down like that, yeah. I think I'll come into normal and I'll scale in the Z a little bit so that I can push it down. But that stuff doesn't show through. It's probably okay. We're going to work on that in a second, because now it's time to join some of these and rotate this. So I just want to see if I got any modifiers. Nothing important. Control J, and that, you see that has a bevel. I didn't want to apply the bevels, so I'll join that, and we'll join that. And what's this doing? Okay, we'll just join that, and we'll join it to that. Okay, I'll deal with shading in a bit if I need to. So now I guess I'm ready to rotate this thing. So let's just take it and put it down somewhere around there. Let's take that and bring the 3D cursor there. We'll go back to global, and I'll switch this to 3D. Let's make sure I'm saving, and I'm just going to start rotating. And if I make it bigger, a little bit bigger, do I want to? Let me think about that. Let me hide that now and decide if I need to. I'll go ahead and I'll put on. We're probably going to join more stuff though, but I'll do this just so we can see it better. Okay. By the way, I'm going to merge by distance. Yeah, see, I got rid of a whole bunch there. So, let's see. If I just wanted it a little bit bigger. And where's this bolt? Okay, like that. And then that would come down. Okay, hang on. Move it down just a little bit. And then it would, well, I guess I could just pretend come down. It's pretty close to where I would need it. How about that? All right. Now there is something else though, and that is, I might have to widen these, but I'm not going to worry about that. And that is on this piece, I want to put a taper, simple deform taper in the X, but I want to switch that, so I'm going to come the opposite direction and have a little bit, I'm going to look from the top and have a little bit of a taper going like that. All right, and see how everything plays out. Let's come in here, turn on the shadow, and have a look. Okay, as soon as I do that, I see something is flipped up here. This stuff, and because that's just a single plane, right? This stuff here, I'm going to Control L. I'm going to have to just flip, and everything else is okay. So there we go. So that was useful to do. And yeah, okay, it's starting to see that stuff through. So let's go back to median point, pull this up a little bit. There we go, that's better. All right, and I might do one more bolt in geometry. I'll take that, pull it out and down, and let's see, where are you? Zoom in on you. Let's P to break you out. And let's take this I'm going to switch back to normal and pull this up. Take that, we'll go back. And I don't think I can Alt-R you. No, that didn't help. Just made you go away. So I'm just going to rotate you, and I'm just looking at the grid. And I'm going to pull it in. Actually, I do have to rotate it, don't I? A little bit. And just have this somewhere along there, just as an extra thing. There we go. Actually, but a different size. Yeah, I don't want it that size. Maybe I already changed that and I forget. I don't know. But anyways, that's going to go there. So we don't have the back. We don't have the staples. But this is basically going to be what it is. Let's just take this. This has got the taper. Do I like the taper? I think I do. So I'm gonna go for it. And this has a bevel on it. And this has a mirror on it. And so I'm going to start joining those things to that thing. I'm going to join this. Yep. What has the bevel? This has the bevel on it. Yep. We're going to join it all. And last but not least, we're going to join that. And let me just make sure I've got the whole thing. I do have the whole thing. I'm going to come in and I'm going to, let's say, just merge by distance. Nothing doing. Face orientation is okay. Frankly, I'm not crazy about that curve, but you know, it's trial and error. And when I do this on video, I don't always get exactly what I want. You know, I just get what I can. So you can play with that as much as you want. I may fix it for the next video, for the texturing video, but there is our stapler ready to be textured. Okay, and we will pick that up in the next video.